Hello and welcome back to the left side of reality. This is your host as always, Snow the First. Last time, we managed to get a bit of training done while dealing with our old friend Censored. This time, it's been a second since I've been here, but believe me when I say that there's a reason for it. Basically, last week, I hit a situation that left me with no desire to stream, and I would have streamed yesterday, as is what I usually do, but yesterday I was having bad throat issues that didn't fix themselves until today. So, before we get started with the day in general, I want to point out that we basically have enough people to... I completely missed you. To fill 4 slots in every department, which is what I feel is appropriate. Hang on, I needed to equip the last person. How did I miss you? Anything that's any good is the question. The green stem. And let's get life for a Daredevil back on the field. Okay, the new people that were hired just now to fill out the rest of the departments. Max. Dia. Kennelly. Zhong. We'll just call him Zhong. Adam, which we remember from last time. Maximin. And Emma. We still need to put in one last person for the 4th slot for records, but... oh, we'll deal with it when we deal with it. Today is going to be a more focused day. I had a very specific aim in mind for today, and that was to patch up everyone's justice and fortitude stats that still were not patched up. You two are missing your justice stats, so you two can come train down here with Magic Bullet. I'm going to try and work out who should go where and run the day from there. What about safety? What's the status of safety? Justice is bad. And justice. It's mainly justice. Who do I have for justice training that's not Magic Bullet? Because I don't want to overload Magic Bullet with all the training. I guess technically you, but you're risky. Anyone that can train Fortitude. Or anyone that needs Fortitude. You need it. You need it. And you need it. You all need Justice too. But I would say focus on Fortitude first. Especially since some of you have, well, I'll figure out what to do with you guys as the day goes on. Right, clerks. That's why I was here. I'm gonna double check that in a second. Yep. I guess anyone that's a hard newbie that can do that then. Bella, what's the status of your justice? 4. Still not great. I think Parker also doesn't have the best stats. Okay, well, why is the move command not working? Yeah, kind of an all-rounder. Nothing too noteworthy, but nothing too stand out either. Why is the... Oh my... What is going on today? I'm absent for a week and this happens. Well, I guess without further ado, I'll start. Meanwhile, Adam, back from the dead, is going to have the important job of taking care of our new friend here, who primarily trains on instinct. So I'm going to keep a careful eye on this for now. Adam, I know you were on the shrimp boat for the last 3,000 years, but you didn't forget everything about working here, did you? I don't think it was Chesed when he was lost. It was Melketh, I think. I feel like Melketh was... Oh. Getting the... You know what? Speaking of the... I'm kind of wanting to decide if I want to give the Heart of Aspiration... Adam can take it. Oh, that reminds me. We needed to do something about you at some point. But you're so much of a headache, I kinda don't want to think about you. Anyone else with high attachment but low instinct that would be good to throw at you? Let me look through the list. High attachment but low instinct. Lamarcus could use a bit of a top off, but anyone that's like in the 70s that has like... Yeah, you. Oh no, you have Discord, that wouldn't do any good. Hussein would actually fit that pretty well. Yeah, I might send Hussein on down. I guess the problem right now is that I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to train instinct on people that would be kind of tricky on. I would say Ashley could do around with the bird. No, training. And then Joy can follow up since she has a black armor that can help her. I was thinking Queen Bee. I was just wondering who would be the safest people to throw at her. So, what do I want to talk about? Well, I guess the most relevant thing to happen to me recently is that I've now got Pokemon Legends CA. There's something to be said about the Pokemon formula, I guess is where we start for the day. Because it's one of those formulas that's tried and true, but may have gotten a bit stale. Because we all know the routine by now. You go around the region, you collect 8 badges, you deal with the evil syndicate of the day, and then you fight a champion figure. And I feel like the reason why I took so well to Sun and Moon is because Sun and Moon was actually mixing up that formula by doing something completely different with its structure. Big and mighty bad wolf. Look at that portrait. Look at that portrait compared to what it looks like in its little cell. What is that shit? And this is why I sent in Joy second, because she has black armor that can resist damage if the work goes worse. Okay, but yeah, Sun and Moon did a great shakeup of the formula, while Sword and Shield went back to the Agents formula, but tried to spice it up. Of this area, Joy's the only one that really needs any help. Lamarcus, where or no, that was Joy just working. Okay, 100. No, I think I worked these guys with Fortitude right now already. I think what I need for them is Justice. Might do that later. I suppose what I can do right now is Justice train some of the newbies here. I haven't done anything here, right? I haven't. Then these two can start on Butterfly for right now. I guess the thing I'm worried about for today is what kind of curveballs reveals might toss. Especially since we have a bunch of pod movies that we might need to protect if one of your deals goes particularly south. I kinda wanna throw Lamarcus at Queen Bee even with a red weak armor. Feels like his temperament is high enough to mitigate it. Because that's the one step he still needs to work on right now. Oh, that's just punishing dirt. When it comes to the main titles for Pokemon, I feel like Scarlet and Violet represents the biggest shakeup we've had yet to it. Then because it's a game about game that has the same gym structure as the past ones, but it also has like 2 other campaigns to do, and the game gives you free reign of, hey, do these whenever you want. So you don't have to just stick to the gym stuff. But there are the non-Pokemon games that have permission to go a little crazy. Pokemon Colosseum is an example. The Mystery Dungeon games, the Ranger games. And for a recent side series that has definitely been on the more experimental side, we have the Legends sub-series. Because it seems to be confirmed that it is in fact a sub-series. What's going on with Legends is that it seems to be... I may be about to regret some life decisions in a second here. I'll keep going with my point once this possible dilemma figures out. Ow! Well, that better have done your fortitude a lot of good. Okay, thankfully that did not seem to equal a drop-in Clyde card. Come on, Marcus, you're supposed to be better than that. You're information team captain for crying out loud. Do some justice training using this guy could be an idea. Rose needs it the most. Hers is at only 60. Quite a few of them, but need something different for them. Galena and Rose need it the most for Central Command. I'll send Rose first, and she has the black resistant armor. It may be Teth, but it's still black resistant. Anyways. Legends Arceus was pretty crazy as far as Pokemon concepts goes, as the premise of the game is that your player character from Diamond and Pearl got sent back in time by Arceus to an era long before all the usual Pokemon staples existed. The concept of catching Pokemon was unknown. The concept of Pokeballs was just barely getting invented. Everything felt wild. Of course, the kind of flip side to that is that it also meant that a wild Pokemon hadn't exactly built up the same friendly relationship that they do with people now. Because one of the big hooks of Legends Arceus is that wild Pokemon are frickin' hostile. They will attack you. And in fact, it caused, because it was such a different kind of gameplay, it breathed new life into Pokemon that would otherwise get ignored, for better or worse. Like, the one thing that happened is that... Wait. Are you okay to train with your shoots? It's black damage, but I don't know if your attachment's good. Okay, I'm gonna see that. This is one of the particulars of Lobotomy Corporation training, where sometimes you do bad matchups on purpose, at least armor-wise, because you get more, I'm pretty sure I already have it. No, I don't. Although, what is the point of getting the rifles if they're just going in the we're never using them? But yeah, you make bad matchups on purpose occasionally, because the more damage you take, the more stats you take. Like Tiffany here is undergoing some damage, but because they're mostly good, it balances out. And then who's the other one up here that Central Command that means it a bit? That was Tiffany just now. And the other one's Finn. God, our justice is still so terrible. Oh! No, cancel that work for now. We need to send someone... We need to send someone down to Censored here that can handle him. Just in case the... the meltdown reaches it. Emilia, you're up. I know you can handle Censored. I've seen you do it before. Okay, back to what I was doing. One of the funniest things to come out of Legends RCS is that it made Paris a meme, but a meme in that it was like one of the worst threats in the game. And because, like I just said, Pokemon will directly attack the trainer. And if you get attacked too much, the trainer actually passes out and you lose materials. And the one Pokemon species that ended up being the worst with this is Paris. Because Paris basically are super tiny, come in large swarms, and are just generally the biggest pain to deal with. Okay, it just went straight onto the shoots. I'm okay with that. Adam, you're up. Queen of Hatred is 5, in case you needed to know. Anton, you first, since you happen to be in the air. Is anyone here red? I don't think so, but yeah, everyone here's red strong actually. So you can all stick around in this hallway to help deal with Amber Dawn when it arrives. If it arrives in this corridor, can't be too safe. Okay, I'm going to kill Orcs and then I'm going to go back to the formula. Anyway, that brings us to Legend ZA, the game that released just now. This past week. And the thing about this game, the only thing I will say about it for now is the premise, but even that premise is kind of interesting, because the premise of Legend ZA is that it's the game going, hey, remember Lumio City from X and Y? What if it had its own game? A game that was Lumio City and nothing else. Anything further I don't know yet, but I'm looking forward to finding out at least. Oh, it had to be the Red Week armor. Oh god, what am I gonna do with you guys? Yeah. Lumio City kinda got a bad reputation just from that. Unfortunately for it. I'll send Pansy you around with the wolf. Which is really unfortunate because the idea behind Lumio City is neat, but Pokemon Company doesn't know the definition of a safe development cycle. Hang on. That is definitely the thing that I'm always dislike the most about Scarlet and Violet. The fact that it only got good on an entirely new game system, and it's just kind of like you can feel that Game Freak have talented developers in their lineup. They can make good games, but it often gets hampered by them being rushed to push out the product before whatever arbitrary deadline that Game Freak has lined up, or Pokemon Company rather. Okay, what's the status of this? Pansy dropped by. God, so many guidelines. I may not grind everything today like I did with Censor, because we have more days to play with, but I at least want to get all the information today. Can I see everything I did in the beginning? Because I kind of want to... There was a lot of throwing the newbies at the stuff. What else do I want to do? Saying it for my own sanity more than anything else. 3 less bullets. I did that. Everyone's more or less good over here. You could use more prudence, maybe. This is mainly about getting all the very low people up to something slightly better. Most of you need justice. You need fortitude, but I don't really have anywhere safe to train. Blah. I miss all-around helper. Well, I guess for now I can throw Galena for some repression work. Boost her up on that a bit. Do I have anything Project Moon related I wanted to talk about today? I felt like I had another conversation topic I wanted to bring up, but... One second, an update that I will give here and now. It's actually my birthday this coming Thursday. I'm not gonna say how old I am, but it is my birthday. I'm probably gonna take the day to treat myself, and maybe even do a birthday stream. We'll see how that goes. So it is, basically a week off. That's training department that has all the people that need it, isn't it? Yeah, tons of people here with just super low justice. You know what? I might double speed it at this point, just to help this justice training go by a bit faster. As it happens, I actually got myself a new Halloween costume because I wanted to spice it up this year. I'm going as a plague doctor. My motives are very complex. No one's gonna get that. What I'm going to do very specifically is get myself a little birthday cinnamon roll. Do you have Cinnabon? Have you heard of Cinnabon? You might have first heard of it from the same place I did then, because I first heard of Cinnabon from, like, you could call it the dumbest place. Have you heard of the book series Animorphs? Animorphs is a series that is both famous and infamous. Famous for being genuinely entertaining, infamous for seemingly throwing a downer ending in the last book, apropos of nothing. I did hear that the author got a lot of flack for that ending, but for better or worse, she stuck to her guns on it. But that's not what we're here to talk about. we're here to talk about one of the members of the main cast. Oh, might have been like a second printing of that final book that happened at some later point. You might be good to send it to me, I think. But anyways, the premise of Animorphs is that it is a secret war that is being fought between no, that is King of Greed, not King of Greed, definitely not that. Our kid protagonists are stuck in a secret war that they are fighting, and one of their allies from a secret war is the alien species that is directly opposed to the enemy aliens. The Andalites. The Andalites are very curious in that they're centaur creatures that eat through their hooves, and so they don't have the traditional sense of taste. And one of the members of the good guys crew among the kids is a teenager Andalite by the name of Pax, who by necessity, whenever he goes out, he has to do it while morphed as a human. And so they do that usual trope of alien goes through shenanigans while experiencing Earth experiences, which leads to a running gag in the books where I don't even remember the context, but Axe had been introduced to the concept of a cinnamon bun, very specifically from the brand Cinnabon, and Axe basically got addicted to cinnamon buns and just would always love eating them at every available opportunity. That is the only reason I know the name of this brand, because I saw it in a book as a kid. Still no Clyde thought for me dropping, so I guess I'm lucky in that regard. Now that I'm an adult, I've actually had cinnamon rolls, and they are pretty good, all things considered. I said this was gonna be a day of trading fortitude and justice. It feels like it's gonna be more justice, because everyone's justice is so low. Gonna double speed it again for this, at least until we get close to triggering the dawn. As happens with a lot of book series, Animorphs got longer and more complex as the series went on, which leads to like a plot twist that I will always remember, and that's that at the very beginning of the book series, the way the kids get dragged into the war is that they come across a mortally wounded Andalite, and the Andalite only lives long enough to pass the morphing powers on to the kids before passing away, or getting murdered, more like. And I think that Andalite knew full well that dragging kids into a war wasn't really great, but he didn't really have any options at that moment. And so this Andalite is killed, and you really don't think about him for most of the book, for most of the series, except I think Axe is related to him somehow. Actually, I might look that up real quick. Just because I don't like spreading misinformation. Okay, Axe is his brother. That's what I thought. Elfengor. Hey, don't spoil the surprise before I get this chance to say it. I was building to it and everything. Last is Lycian. You're actually okay with justice. If anything, you need to top off on prudence. Don't do that then. Rest assured, I'm not actually mad. But I actually did want to get into that because it shows just how crazy the series can be. Because our Andalite that dies in the very first book, Elfengor, had been on Earth for his own reasons. But God, I'm thinking. So basically, Elfengor goes to planet Earth for his own reasons, kind of related to the war, but in the process falls in love with a human woman and gets into a relationship with her. But the thing is, because of the whole Uphold the Masquerade thing, wait, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to kick off this thing that's going to happen, so that we can be prepared for it. Any last trainings I want to do? If someone else needed some fortitude, you could use this. Everyone in this general area could use like a small top off on that, but not that much. You know what? Just to push it along, I'm going to send someone to work on Soda here. Just for the sole purpose of doing that. This isn't even going to do anything, but I'm doing it anyways. Because I want to see where these slugs spawn. Okay, the good news is that all of information can go out to these guys right quick. This will be mostly Tatiana, although we might send Ash. No, you're ready. Pusey and Joy go up there. Or no, just Pusey. Tatiana should be more than enough, but just in case. Oh, these two are in their own hallway. Good, that's why I put you there. You two should be able to take care of this group quick. Sona go up there. Just send everyone. Just send everyone. Who's that? You might be okay as long as... Amelia? Where's Amelia? Oh, she's down here. Okay, in that case, while she's working, London, Kennelly, help. But who's gonna do up here then? Because In theory, she can, but I kind of want to prevent her from... Parker, go in there while you're in the area. I kind of want to prevent her, the slugs from warping, so I'm basically throwing everything at them. Pansy, Galena, take this area. Down here can be the Sihan, Rose. Just send everyone down. Gabriela, of course, and Melendez. And then you guys are already fighting this, but a little extra help from Delaney probably won't hurt. Okay, run it. What I'm gonna keep an eye on the most is this area with the hot shots. Don't want them to die. Oh my god! The all-around helper weapon is so good for these guys. Let that be my official recommendation. If you want a weapon to take care of the Amber Dawns fast, go for the all-around helper one. It shreds them. Okay, these two corridors are the ones I'm most worried about. Or not. Well, that wasn't a big deal. I did see one dead clerk, so... Okay, Big Bird's at 5, so not very many seem to have died. Just gonna do a quick check. Two... Okay, 1, 2... 3 clerks. That's 3 clerk bodies I've seen. Only 3 clerk deaths in all that chaos. I feel like that says a lot for just how efficient that slaughtering was. Yeesh. Okay, but to repeat what I just said, the all-around helper weapon feels like an Amber Dawn Slayer. Like, just very specifically. Okay, back to what I was saying in Animals. I just reminded myself of the stuff that was happening. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Elfin Gore falls in love with a human woman, settles down, but because of the necessity of the whole upholding the masquerade thing, he can't actually stay in his Andalite body, and the way this is solved is via a very particular flaw of the morphing technology, where if you cross a certain threshold of time, you get stuck in that form forever, unless that's exactly what you want to have happen. In the case of Elfangor, who let himself get stuck as a human to settle down and marry this woman and have a kid with her. And that kid is main character Tobias. So basically, Tobias is Elfangor's son, but also not really because he was technically a different human at the time. Smarter people than me could try and work that out. Okay, I want to see how this goes. Oof, this work is rough. Come on, Pusei, you can do better than that. At least your instinct stats will be jacked by the end of the day. Okay, where does that leave us? Okay, cool, I got all the information. Like I said, I may not do everything today, but to get everything I need from this guy, we need... $116 of this... 136 of this, I think, is what this would be. So, somewhere in the high 200s. You know what could be fun? Or wait, did I lock it just for the bit? I'm curious. Where's Pansy? No, I did not lock it for the bit. In fact, I think I specifically left it unlocked just to see if she would lose her face again if she went to sensory. I kind of... You know what? I'll throw you at the wolf. Let's see if you can get your face back, albeit very small. With that armor and your attachment rate, you should be fine. 0.5A left, 26. Yeah, let's do it. When Hakama unlocks all the stats to 130, I might do 1 or 2 rounds of throwing Pansy at Censor just for the meme. Like, I know full well I could just turn on the setting to remove the face mask, but it's just become her identity now. Yep. This wolf looks tough, but it can't resist. But Pansy is a top agent. Okay, no more works on the wolf ring. Now we go back to our usual routine. I can't believe we started at Cinnabon and ended at Animorphs. These streams go wild directions sometimes. I already did Galena earlier. Rose was the other one that was throwing at this every so often. She may be the sole agent to stay in tech armor for the rest of the run just because of her gun. Like, we're gonna be in day 49 facing down the worst challenge in the game, and she's still just gonna be in that armor. I have not had a chance to play around with Chi Association Boss. Have I done the dirt sheet stuff with him? What have I done so far this cycle? Nothing but big bad wolf ones. Karna? Prince did, her shoot, which means it's your turn. No, your turn. Your turn. It is actually pretty highly speculated that that it will be that Heathcliff it will get because of dialogue, and that indicates as much. Wait, is that X-Ray you're wearing? Because if so, I can tell you. Yes, it is. Or you have something else to try and do that at the round two. Okay, you and you for the bird. The thing that had a lot of people speculating about the one thing that everyone's speculating as well is that Merceau is a third kindred, which threw everyone off because Cassetti is a sixth kindred and Merceau is supposed to be a Cassetti. So how the hell did this happen? The main thing that I'll let you finish first. Okay, just making sure this doesn't go. Well, the first thing is that while sadly Cassetti Merceau does not seem to take Cassetti's evade, what Merceau does take is the blood absorbing technique that Cassetti used, so that could make him like a tank of sorts. The other thing is that now that Murder on Warp Express is coming back again, there's particular bits of the plot that people talk about a lot. Mainly that one of the main things about Murder on the Warp Express is that Limbus Company are hired to figure out what's going on with all the vanishments that are going on the warp trains as of late. And for a moment, it's looking like it might be Cassetti that's responsible. But then Cassetti makes some claims that throw that into doubt. That he was apparently sleeping in the carriage the whole time, and that he was only woken up by the presence of Mephistopheles. So if he was sleeping the whole time and wasn't active until we showed up, then who did the disappearances before that? Yes. Is Amelia still down here? Okay, cool. I need her in case Censor does a thing. The other thing that they deliberately leave a mystery is that at one point, Limbus Company run into a W Corps employee that's injured from fighting blood bags and stuff, and the W Corps employee's like, "You guys gotta sign this job? Cool, I'm out." And he literally stuffs himself into a pod, and Limbus Company's like, "Well, okay, whatever." But then when they get off the train, and they tell the other W Corps employees, "Hey, one of your guys is in this area," only to check, and the W Corps employee also vanished. That is the most popular explanation people have accepted, but a part of me doesn't want to accept it. And I guess 9 times out of 10, nothing happens in a warp train that the staff can't handle. You know what? You've been working one of your stats the whole time. Maybe you can just work your justice. Ah, punishing bird. Oh, punishing bird. Okay, but what I'm thinking is that there's a non-zero chance that the W Corps employee is the source of wayward passenger. Because sources of abnormalities are all over the place. And we know it's technically possible for abnormalities to derive from people, basically. And the context of did I already do roast earlier? I did. I'm gonna send one of these. It was stated in the LTV checkup that humans might possibly become abnormalities if they go through the process. Like, a human hears the voice, they either manifest ego or distort. And what happens with distortions is that most of the time they have the sense feeding back into them, or maybe just get outright killed, or manifest ego. But it was said in the checkup that people that stay as distortions long enough outright turn into abnormalities. And the reason this was said, and the reason they made this distinction, is to say that distortions are reversible, but a distortion turning into an abnormality cannot be reversed. And it just feels like the only way that people would know that information is if it was seen firsthand. The one thing that is known about Wayward Passenger, funny enough, I have an explanation for that. I think it was said by Faust early on, or at least I vaguely remember that it's information that exists, and that when they ask about abnormalities in the mirror dungeons, Faust says that basically anything that happens in a mirror dungeon happens in some alternate dimension or something. An alternate mirror. Which is why we can run into people that are either our former enemies that met gruesome ends. And one can assume it's the same for Refraction Railway. We're going to some mystery. Adam? Adam? Adam, don't... Do you want to die again? Is that what's going on? What is this work? guess that was good for your fortitude. Pansy, you go. You do need your fortitude popped off. Occam's razor, or however you would pronounce it, is very much a thing. Occam's razor says that the best explanation is often the simplest one. And I'm usually an advocate for Occam's razor. But sometimes I find an explanation too boring, and I go seek for something else. That could be considered a flaw of mine. Sometimes I just don't like something because I find it boring. I know that W Corps are sadistic enough to incinerate their employees that just want to recuperate, but that's boring. Well, I suppose while we're on the subject of W Corps, them being such mustache-twirling villains seems to actually be coming back to bite them in the butt. Like, W Corps has always been one of the corporations that's, like, seem to be evil just for the sake of being evil. Thanks in part to the events of Library of Ruina and the castle of cards that W Corps has built up is slowly crumbling down. Oh, there we go. I feel like the one rebuttal to that is what we went through earlier. That 9 times out of 10, a W Corps employee does not board the train until after it stopped. Like, Cassetti was very much an apparition. But yes. Library of Ruina basically set off a chain of events that sent the House of Cards that W Corps has been building up. It sent that House of Cards tumbling down, and they can't do anything to stop it. Speaking of interesting plot threads that could possibly be followed up in the future, I saw it pointed out on TV tropes that the the library kind of ruined everything for Tom and Mary, or Tamari as they became. And I suppose you could argue how much of it was also a bit W Core's fault, because of the secrecy. But basically, when this is something I know because it's almost impossible to interact with Project Moon stuff without finding this out. But basically, when Roland first hears of the predicament of the W Core train, it's like, this can't be right. W Core trains are supposed to get there in 10 seconds. What's one doing lost in an alternate dimension? And it is through that particular story beat that Roland and crew find out that, no, this was actually business as usual. W Core trains are supposed to get stuck in a hell dimension for thousands of years. And in the process, they meet Tamari, a couple that get fused into a giant gelatinous blob. And because this is the library, they book Tamari. But the thing is, because Tamari is booked, they never got to their exit station and got restored back to normal like they usually did. Which, I suppose, comes the time to say, hey, spoilers for, who was the person I trained with this when he wasn't Rose? I can't remember. Was it? It was Golden. But yeah, hey, spoilers for the end of Library of Ruina that I'm also vaguely aware of. And by extension, Leviathan. Because the ending of Library of Ruina is that Angela, as a gesture of goodwill, decides to take all the previously booked people and release them back into the city. But, because Angela is apparently hardwired to ruin everything, even when she's not trying to ruin everything, when Angela unbooked everyone, she did not send them back to their home districts. She seems to have haphazardly sent them across the city, who knows where. But anyways, I'll probably dissect the nuances of that when I get to that scene, who knows when. But for now, it's just funnier to say that Angela ruins everything, because Angela always ruins everything. It's her shtick. Okay, my thought. So anyway, all the unbooked people got scattered to corners of the city where they didn't belong. And one of those people, of course, is Tamari, who were still fused together because they never got separated and restored by W Corp. And, they ended up in whatever part of the city that Virgilius had his orphanage in, and Tamari just slaughtered the orphanage. So it could technically be argued that Roland and Angela's actions killed an orphanage. which actually leads to a lot of fan content of Virgilius hunting down the library and hunting down Roland and Angela because they are a major reason why it happens like that. How much longer do I want to go on this day? Kinda just want to pull the plug when I'm done with energy, because I don't feel like we need to stick around for much longer. Okay, just waiting for the person to show up. I should have double sped it. Why did I not do that? What else do I do during this time period? My memory of the day is starting to unravel. Oh, but I did want to talk about Library of Runa while I'm here. I've actually been very, very lax about backseating for basically this entire playthrough, because what I'm here for is the story. And the gameplay is, well, the gameplay is this. So I'm like, okay, anything that can make the gameplay go by faster, I will accept. Just so we can get to the relevant story scenes faster. I do occasionally deliberately ignore suggestions just because I have an idea I want to do. Sometimes that works out for me, sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, if anyone says something, I will listen. That's going to change with Library of Runa, because Library of Runa is infinitely more customizable and more focused on how do you want to tackle these challenges with the tools at hand. So I might be a bit more strict on backseating and just kind of discover stuff on my own, unless I get like obscenely stuck on something, and that would be the case when I would start being open to suggestions. I really need to do some armor arrangements at this point. Oh my god. I was so focused talking about Project Moon stuff that I forgot I almost killed 3 people for Queen of Hatred. Oh my god, that would have been terrible. To go this late in the game and this late in the day have that happen. That near disaster completely threw me off from whatever it was I was doing. I can't believe I almost let that happen. Lamarcus, another round of queen, because we do need to increase your fortitude. You're a team captain for crying out loud. You need to be better. The main thing about Library of Ruina, and the reason why I talk about this, I'm talking about this now, is that there are some challenges that can't just be beat by brute force and actually force you to engage with game mechanics. It's a lot like Limbus in that case, and it's caused a bit of discussion about it, but let's not get into that right now. Is this finally going to be a decent work on the Queen Bee? Miracles. Yep. And a couple of failures right there at the very end. That's something. Oh, I got everything here. Just double check. I lost. I'm just gonna have some people work on Snow Queen. Pick things off for the next cycle. I think we actually did have some low prudence people around here. I could use a small top off. Yeah, like you. We're so close to getting everyone around the 100 mark, odd movies aside. It is just mildly tedious. But if I don't face the tedium now, I'm just gonna hit the brick wall later. So can't afford to get too complacent. Okay, just one more work and the next cycle will kick off. I love how Owen's little nameplate says Pessimistic Arbiter when he has the little cat smile. How does that work? That was safety. Who else in safety could use a little help? You. Okay, time to focus our attention downwards to see what happens with this. Come on, Chloe, get there faster. Ah, but then you crap justice, which is why you can't get there fast. Violet Noon. Oh, and there's one uncensored. Knew that would happen eventually. Okay, Amelia, you should have no real problems with that, but just making sure. Amelia's just too good, and her armor helps her shrug off some of the lost things. Going to work for just a smidge longer. Adam. I suppose once you reach the point where you're modding stuff, you're just kind of like, screw it, screw everything. Just gonna break this game as I please. I saw. I'm pulling the plug on this game on this day once I reach energy quota. Sweepers are one of the groups that get the rare privilege of appearing in all 3 games too, which just sucks. I'm gonna send Pansy for a look at this. Or you know what? Where was Chloe? No, I'm gonna make sure Pansy's topped off first. She's a captain. The other group of abnormalities that have appeared in all 3 games are the magical girls. Specifically Queen of Hatred, because of course. And the birds have appeared in 2 games so far. Haven't shown up in the 3rd, but they might. Night of Despair, yes. Don't know why King of Greed was absent, but I guess they couldn't fit her in the event. I feel like there's still a chance that that could happen, because even though the bird is only a F, even though Punishing Bird is only a F, in terms of Ruina, I think it appears pretty late. It might be a Star of the City. Oh, so even later, very close to the end. Then yeah, there's still a chance that the birds can appear in Limbus if they're ranked that high in Ruina. Of course, this is only my speculation. The only person that knows for sure is Kim Ji-hoon, and who even knows what he's thinking at any given time. I am mildly worried that we won't actually have enough energy. I might go on a grinding spree for this last video, just to make sure we have enough to end the day soon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm just gonna do one more work on Big Bird, since he's an Elif anyways. Or Vog. Jose, You are the least likely to have negative consequences from it, so do a run of Censor. In Emilia, do your usual run with Blue Star. It would definitely be a case of Bina going, that was just a Tuesday for me. What's going on down here? Jose's doing fine. Of course he is. He's one of the first. I would hope he does fine. What other hirers do I have in this area? Queenie, I guess. Haven't done anything with her all day. Yeah, I might throw someone on Queen just to close it off. And we're done. Let's see, 92 Prudence, cool. 79, could use only more. Oof, bad justice. Pansy, that cost 100. Selena got to level 5. And a little more work, a little more work there. A little more work there. You definitely got a major boost. Just need to focus on justice next time. 87, not bad, could be better. 83, cool, could be better. Yeah, next week might be just second verse, same as the first. Adam got boosted all the to level 5. Already at 90. Max got a boost. That's all. What's on the menu for today? Behavior adjustment, express train to hell, flesh idol. do we re-roll for a chance at the clock? Because that's always useful. Alright, cool. Flesh idol again. No! Oh, it looks like the game is just pushing me towards flesh idol. Because the other two are just no. I think this one we've seen already. At the very least, it's one more tool abnormality ticked off. Oh, okay, we need to expand here. Okay. The next time we expand, that's gonna be next time we expand Dina. Her mission's gonna show up. So we gotta be ready for that. Because of this fucker. If for no other reason. 101 Dalmatians. It's only enough for one of each. Or one but not the other. And not enough for both. Oh well. Next time on the left side of reality, I guess we're going to just continue doing this. Just keep training everyone up, start to put a bit more attention on the hard newbies, and when the time is right, I guess get ready for whatever comes next. Because these have been some chill times, but it's not gonna last forever.